Okay. Ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Really ready? Okay. So we were talking about persuasive presentation, and the first question I asked that why we prefer storytelling presentation in any formats of presentation, in any types of presentation, in any form of presentation. Because storytelling is something, it is one tricky tips or one intelligent term that can connect audience very easily. So the first challenge for any kind of presentation is to draw the attention of the audience, and your storytelling works like a magic that it can connect you with your audience very easily, and when audience is connected with you, you can complete the rest of the presentation very easily. That's easy. Okay. So here we are telling also the same thing, that persuasive presentation in an attractive way is storytelling. A 2-minute story can be very effective. Even a 2-minute story can be very effective. It can be a 1-minute story, it can be a 2-minute story. As you are not familiar with this, just I am allowing you to tell a story even up to 5 to 10 minutes. But when you are presenting an academic presentation, instructional presentation, then the story has to be very short, because the total time length of your presentation, even if it is 15 to 20 minutes, you have hardly more than 2 minutes to tell a story there, because you have to complete the task. The objective of the presentation has to be accomplished. Okay. Here comes the difference. Why you are not allowed to story reading in storytelling? Because this is story reading and this is storytelling. What is story reading? Story reading is you are just reading a story, so it is very easier to do. May take rereading to ensure comprehension, because sometimes you will cramp, you will hammer, okay, what was the right wording, what was the right pronunciation, what was the right meaning. Okay, you have to reread 1 or 2 complicated sentences. Is less memorable, is not interactive, because you are just reading, I am reading this, I am reading this, and no one is listening, they are sleeping. So that's story reading. Then can be boring. Of course it will be boring. Story reading is definitely boring. Can be overwhelming. Even, I don't know. How will I know? Because I didn't see you in your childhood. But say for example, do you have any of you have the experience that you heard stories, you were in the lap of your grandma, grandpa, and they were telling you stories about the moonlight. In a moonlight night, they were telling you Thakurmar Jhuli or any other story, like the stories of jinns and angels. Do you have any such experience like this? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
True, sir? Who told you the story?
Grandma, grandfather.
Both? When?
In fact, my mother also.
Which year?
10 years ago.
True?
Yes.
Done. So all of you had this experience? I heard so many, yes, sir. Is it from mobile or it is from person? Real or AI? Okay, done. Then you are still the lucky generation, I must say, because thing is very rare nowadays. Like, so even when they were telling you the stories, did they take a book then they read the stories? Is it like this? No. That would have made the whole storytelling experience absurd. Total experience would have been different then. But now you can still remember what emotion, what connection there was, what feelings, what experience there was in those storytelling nights. So definitely awesome. So this is something that you miss in the story reading, because it can be boring, it can be overwhelming, and when you are just reading a story, you will not practice. You will not, like say for example, I have to practice 2 or 3 times to read out a story. Just I will watch and read. No practice is required, and no one even bothers to, Say for example, for the first time you will read a novel of Humayun Ahmed to him. You will just read out the novel to him. So you will practice before? Never. Because you know Bangla and you know the language is Bangla. Even if it is written in English, you won't have bother to do much practice with it. So that's the problem. And different levels of students, so comprehension is lower because learners are of different levels, so they can't comprehend. What is that comprehension? They can't visualize, they can't have a picture of the entire theme, entire message of the story. Okay? Getting into this now, what is storytelling? Storytelling is, firstly, it invites what? Creativity. The first requirement is your creativity, because you are telling a story and you have every right, you have every element, you have every single way to make your story more interactive, more connective with the audience. Do you get my point? It completely depends on you, how you will deliver your story to your grandson, to your granddaughter, to your audience, whoever it is, whoever is the audience, maybe the friends of your grandson, friends of your granddaughter. The entire magic depends on the speaker. It depends on him or her how he will deliver the story. So it invites creativity. The storytelling technique of every single person is different. It's never the same for everyone. Even you will see the difference in the next class, because everyone will have different style of storytelling. So that's one thing. Then it is interactive. Story is something that is by default interactive. Then is more memorable. You can, do we actually memorize stories? Do we memorize stories? Huh? No. Why? Do we even try to memorize? Why? Because this is something, that's why story is unique. We can remember stories by default. We do remember stories. We do remember stories. That's why it is by default interactive, by nature. It is, it touches our heart, it touches our mind. But it needs more effort. More effort in what? Story listening, storytelling. Because you have to make it creative, you have to make it interesting. Your storytelling has to be interesting to make it captured by the audience. Develops students' imaginations. কাদের ইমাজিনেশনের কথা বলা হচ্ছে? Why? Why? Why students' imagination? Storytelling is going on, so what about the students' imagination?
So without imagination you can't create a story.
No. So I am not talking about speaker, storyteller. I am talking about the students, story listeners. So why imagination is there? There is no imagination about story listeners. Is imagination applicable for story listeners?
Yes, sir.
How? How come?
So when we listen that story, we can relate the scenes.
True. Say for example, whenever you are listening the story of a ghost, don't you feel that? You feel that. Whenever you are listening to a story of a paranormal activity, don't you get shaken? Of course you get shaken. You get tempered. So that's how, whenever you are listening to a story, you have started to feel the story. That's the difference. You have started to feel the story, and automatically that feelings will drive you. That's the difference. Question? Okay. Then, so that's why it takes more effort, and it develops imagination power of the listeners. Listener can be students, listener can be anyone. Then storytelling is a fun and effective way to learn concepts, vocabulary, language, and to acquire comprehensive skills. lots of things. You can have concept, you can have vocabulary, new language, new terms and ideology, new explanations, everything. Bhuter golpo, so you have got a new term like bhoot, ghost, and how they appears, how they disappears, what they does, what they don't do. That's the things. Anyway, yeah, please.
So, it refers is interactive. I know about this word, something like when two or more students or friends or like persons connect each other or talk with each other, it's interactive. But how it will be interactive from a storyteller? Because I am just telling my story and my listeners are listening. They don't feedback me anything. I'm just
Okay, done. I got your question. You got his question? Question is, you didn't get his question? His question is, whenever I am talking to someone, so here I am only talking, he is only listening. So no interaction is going on. That's his point. Right? What's the answer?
Interaction is going, sir.
Huh?
Interaction is happening, sir.
How? Tell him. Tell him. Convince him with your explanation.
There's something like a story. Well, we already imagination, right? We already imagining that whatever a person is talking about. So the interaction is happening, right?
Got? Convinced?
yes, sir.
I.
Sir, last I have one more. Attract students to book.
দিয়ে ফেললাম তো
Book.
বলো হ্যাঁ
This is another one. Attract students to book. How it can be attract me with some books. Sir, in Bangla.
why not same
I didn't understand his question.
হ্যাঁ again tell him
Sir, Bangla would be it.
বলো
আমি স্টোরি বললে আমাদের লিসেনার তারা কিভাবে বলতে থাকে আমার গল্পটা শুনে সে বই পড়ে কেন
আমার ভালো লাগছে অনেক বলছি
কারণ আমার গল্পটা এমন ছিল যেটা কোনো বই আমি আমার জীবনের থেকে গল্প বলতেছি
এই দাঁড়াও হোয়াটস ইউর কোয়েশ্চেন
বলছিলাম যে মানে আমি যে গল্পটা বলতেছি
হ্যাঁ।
সেই গল্পটা যদি আমার জীবনের কোনো গল্প হয়
হ্যাঁ।
তো এই গল্পটা যারা শুনতেছে তারা কিভাবে এটা যে বইয়ের প্রতি আকৃষ্ট হবে
কোথায় লেখা যে বইয়ের প্রতি আকৃষ্ট হবে
attract students to books
আহা মানে story books are there, isn't it? So whenever your grandchildren, they are not yet in the age of reading books by themselves. You got my point? 3-4 years, 2-3 years, 4-5 years, they can't read the stories by themselves, but they have started listening to stories, and those stories are very interesting to them. They like listening to stories. When they are a bit grown up, like 7 to 8 years, and when you say, okay, this is a story book, because now you can read stories by yourself, what would happen? Because you injected the interest of story learning, story listening from the very childhood. Now they are very interested to learn stories by themselves. That's it. Okay. Why you do so much easy questions? Okay. Moving on to next. This is like for any type of presentation, any type of slide presentation. Firstly, this is about your slides. But what maximum of us understand that presentation is mainly about your slide presentation. Your PowerPoint slide presentation, Prezi slide presentation, Canvas slide presentation. Hardly presentation is all about your slides. It all about you. Even without any slide, a presentation can be awesome. Even with perfect slides, awesome slides, your presentation can be simply absurd, rubbish. Why? Because other elements are there, because you are present there, and how you present yourself, how you are appearing before the audience as a presenter. What you say, that makes more importance. What is written in the slides, that everyone can read that. Everyone can see what is written in the slides. So doesn't make any difference. What difference it makes when I am telling this, when I am explaining this, how I am explaining this, that makes the difference. Audience interaction, because whether you are giving that space for audience interaction. Say for example, after telling a joke, you must continue telling another joke. Or you should give at least a breathing space for the people to laugh. What is it? You must have a space for the people to have completed their laughing, had completed their laughter. So that's the space any presenter should give the audience. The audience should get a space to think about, to ponder about, to react about, to express their reactions, to express their emotions. Handout, another point. Okay, presentation slides were there, but it got out of my mind immediately. So just deliver a handout. This was all about my presentation. Not necessary for you, but these are the international format presentation formats. Okay, so our top 5 tips for building effective presentation. Firstly, create a detailed plan. How you are going to present your storytelling presentation. You must have a detailed plan for the entire presentation, beginning, ending, midway, halfway, entertainment, interactions, question, answer, everything. Then speak like yourself. Don't try to speak like him or like Faisal sir. Not necessary. Be yourself, be genuine. Connect with your audience through storytelling, that we are doing. Practice, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Help from whom? Ask for help. Huh? Audience during storytelling? During storytelling? During your presentation? No. Before. When you are developing your presentation, when you are making the slides, just show your slides and ask for help. How can I improve my slides? How can I improve my presentation? How can I improve my delivery? How can I improve my pronunciation? How can I improve my speech? How can I improve my connection with the audience? How can I improve my gesture, posture, everything? Don't feel shy to ask for help from your friends, from your batchmates, from your audience, whatever it is. Even during a presentation, you can ask help. How? Say for example, to interact with the audience, may I ask a volunteer to help me please, just with something extra, just with something, with an interesting question or with an interesting representation. Then you pick up an audience from the whole audience and someone comes, then you start some activity with him. So those are the volunteering interaction activities with the audience as well. So this was the whole picture of this block basically. Any questions on this? Block 2. Any questions? Done. So block 2 is over. Moving on to next, and this will be helpful. Why this will be helpful? What is the title? This is the title. Topic selection. Topic selection of your presentation. What is actually suffering you? What will be the topic of my story? Which story should I tell? I have so many stories, but all bad stories. I have no good stories. The question is, if you have many stories, and if all are bad stories, how about you? How good are you that you have only bad stories? You are a good person, but you don't have any good story to tell. You have only bad stories to tell to you. How bad you are. So, make the topic fit. Can anyone explain me the picture behind this? Why this picture for this slide? Probably I forgot to tell you that every single picture in every single slide of art of presentation itself is a story. So it's not only a slide. Every single picture has a lot of explanations, and you must realize that by yourself. It's not the task of teacher to explain every single picture in every single slide. We don't have the time. Simply, we will never be able to finish a course if I start to explain every single picture behind this. Anyway, as I asked this, anyone? Please? No. Bangla is over. Khatam ho gaya.
Strong topic.
Dara. No. Continue.
So, sir, if we need to strong in our body, we have to be strong by physical exercise.
Nope. Wrong answer.
So it's,
No.
so it's like a engine machine, like as our presentation, we provide our audience and wrap up in the machine.
No. It has to come from yourself. Oh, very easy. Very easy. This is absolutely matches with the title. How? Why?
There I have so many topics, but I have to select best topic that how can we declare about this topic.
Just
and this picture is saying that there are so many people they cannot afford or take over it or take it.
Just explain this picture. Why this picture? Why this picture?
Sir, this ring perfectly fit for this school. And we have to perfectly fit for the presentation.
Done. What you wanted to say? You wanted to say in Bangla? You wanted to say something? Who wanted to say in Bangla? No, he already said. Okay, so that's the right answer. So the answer is, you see this? Is it fitable to any kind of instrument, to any kind of wheel, to any kind of gear? Never. Every single gear has its own sizable, fitable screw. There are different types of screw sizes, different types and sizes of screws. And you should know which screw should be applicable for this. That's your topic selection. You should know which kind of topic, which kind of story should I tell in front of teacher and students in a class, which will be recorded for further demonstration, that everyone will listen to my story again and again. That's it. Isn't it relatable with the topic? Why so panic? Why so pain in relate to this picture with this? What's the problem? Coming back to how you will select your topic? The first you will look at your audience. The first who will look at you, who are the participants. Whoever presenting, I am presenting, you are presenting, he or she is presenting, whatever is the case, whatever is the platform, whatever is the title, One very important point is who are the participants, who are the audience, who are actually listening to my presentation, who are actually in front when I am telling the presentation, who are in front of me. Those are very important. Who is the speaker here? Who is actually presenting here? None of them. None of them are presenter. Rather, everyone is searching who is my audience, who is the participant. Participants' depth of subject. When we are going to tell a story, why depth of subject or subject knowledge is important? For example, for storytelling presentation, we don't need any kind of knowledge. Then, why subject knowledge? Anyone? Any idea? Sultana? Sultana? Any idea? Hey, Sultana!
Sulata.
What about Sultana? That is erased? वो नाम से काट दूं, बाहर कर दूं. When is the Akika party? Date? Announce the date. Before the barbecue party, we have to do the Akika party. Deleting Sultana and including Shulata. Here is the Akika. And we have to invite his father and mother, of course, because this is Akika. Okay. So, Sulata decides with the Akika. So, why participants' depth subject knowledge is important in any kind of presentation? Why it is important? No. Let her explain. The problem is there is no write-up in the slides. Nothing is visible. No explanation is there written. That's the problem in Faisal sir's slides. Everything is to question. উত্তর লেখা নাই, শুধু স্যার আমাদেরকে জিজ্ঞেস করে উত্তর দেওয়ার জন্য। শুনো দাও, উত্তর দাও। Participants' depth of subject. You don't understand the meaning? Subject knowledge of the participants. Now clear? Now you tell me why it is important for presentation. Nothing? Okay. She doesn't know, she doesn't understand, and she doesn't realize. Anyone can help?
To explain the topic very
Elaborately, then? Yeah. If you want to explain the topic elaborately, you must have subject knowledge. Any example? You can speak in Bangla.
যেমন হচ্ছে আমি যদি বলতে চাই যে যেমন হচ্ছে ফারাক্কাবাদ, তো এই যে মানে নদীগুলো কেন আসলে মানে মরে আছে, মানে এটা জানতে গেলে তো আমাদের নদী প্রবাহ সম্পর্কে কাছে জানতে হবে।
Good. Very good example. আমি যদি ফারাক্কার গল্প বলতে চাই, তাহলে বাঁধ সম্পর্কে আমার কোনো ধারণা না থাকলেও চলবে, আরে বলতেছি ফারাক্কা বাঁধের গল্প, কিন্তু বাঁধ নিয়ে আমি কোনো ধারণাও নিব না, জানবো না, গুগল সার্চও দিব না, জানার চেষ্টাও করব না, আমি এসে ফারাক্কা বাঁধের গল্পটা বলে চলে যাব। গল্প ইফেক্টিভ হবে? গল্প থেকে মানুষ ফারাক্কার গল্প তাহলে কী শুনলো, সে তো বাদই বুঝতে পারলো না। সো দ্যাটস ওয়াই ইন মেনি কেসেস অর অলমোস্ট ইন অল কেসেস পার্টিসিপেন্ট সাবজেক্ট নলেজ ইজ ইম্পর্টেন্ট ফর এনি কাইন্ড অফ প্রেজেন্টেশন। তুমি স্টোরি টেল করবা, সেই স্টোরি টেলিংও আজকে যদি এরকম হয় যে তুমি একটা স্যাটেলাইটের গল্প নিয়ে আসছো, যে তুমি স্যাটেলাইটে করে টাইম মেশিনে করে তুমি চলে গেছো, তোমার টাইম মেশিনের কিছু স্পেসিফিকেশন এখানে বলতে হবে। সো টাইম মেশিন সম্পর্কে তোমার ধারণা থাকতে হবে, স্যাটেলাইট সম্পর্কে তোমার ধারণা থাকতে হবে। সো দোজ থিংস আর ম্যান্ডেটরি। গোয়িং টু নেক্সট, length of presentation. This is something very, very important because you must have either a stopwatch with you or a stopwatch in front of you or a signal system somewhere there within the audience or in the right side or left side who will alert you regarding the time. Otherwise, if you just start a story and that is in the midway when 10 minutes is over, what's the result? What's the outcome? Whatever is the story, how much interesting is the story doesn't matter. You have crossed every limit because time is limited. So you have to adapt your story within that particular time. Okay. That's why I expect from your storytelling presentation. Your storytelling presentation should be informative. Should have some information for everyone, should have some message for everyone. That should provide us at least one or two information that we usually forget or that we didn't know before or that came sharp to us through your story, like this. So it's better if we can make it informative, interesting story which includes information as well. Persuasive. What does that mean? Now you understand very easily? That's a problem. You don't understand subject knowledge, but you very understand this knowledge. Even that is not written there, only signal is enough for you to understand everything. Before Akika, you want to have this experience? No Akika, no persuasion, no ring, no Akika, no ring. First Akika, then ring. Okay, so this is something what persuasion does. Like you are persuading a man, a woman, and now he or she is convinced and she accepts your proposal. So that is persuasion. So why persuasion is important in presentation? Because you are here to deliver a message, you are here to meet a purpose, to solve a objective, to accomplish a mission. Say for example, say you are working in a buying house and some representative from your own buying house, from your headquarters from Germany, a representative came and they are your foreign colleagues. They work in the headquarters in the Germany and you work here in Bangladesh for that company. Okay, no problem with that. But your boss, your manager, your local fashion house, buying house or fashion house manager, he tells you that prepare a presentation because next week they will come and you have to present about our last 6 months activities, about our revenue, about our activities and everything, what we did and how we are forecasting the next 6 months from our local office. So when you are making that presentation, you must know before what is the objective of your presentation. What is the objective? Are they your buyers? Are they your buyers? No, they are your colleagues. Then what type of presentation design will you design for this? What will be the format of this presentation? What will be your motivation? What will be your driver for presentation? What type of presentation will it be? Okay, make it more easier. If it is buyers, say for example, some buyers from foreign countries have come and you are giving them a presentation. Don't you know what is the objective of your presentation? What is the objective? Yes, to convince the buyer. New buyers, and they have come to you, and your presentation objective is to convince the buyers. Are you the only person who is presenting before buyers? Are you the only company? Are you the only vendor, only supplier who will give presentation to the buyers? No, everywhere, to every factory, to every supplier, to every vendor, whoever they meet, everyone will give a presentation. Even if they are just having a cup of coffee at Sheraton or La Meridian, they will have the same presentation. That will be in a different mode presentation, but everyone will give presentation and they will try to convince the buyers to buy clothes from them. Okay. Now, what objective you have to satisfy in your presentation? You have to convince the buyers. Okay, how? How will you convince them?
So we'll show progress.
What has to be there in your presentation to convince them? Is it something like, I am a very good supplier, you are a very good buyer, let's make a bonding together. This time I will give you the ring, next time you will give me a ring. Every time I will give you ring from Bangladesh, and next time you give me every time ring from Germany. That's the deal. That's how it goes on. That's how business works. Never. So your presentation has to be incorporated with some facts and figures, data and statistics. It has to show the real performance, how you are doing, what kind of products you can do, what kind of products you can supply, what are the variations, who are the buyers you are currently working with. You are already working with some renowned, reputed buyers, global brands. That gives the new buyers a good impression. Okay, I can trust on, I can rely on this supplier. And if it has no previous credentials, no previous experience, it has only, I am a good supplier, I need a good buyer. It works in Bangla cinema, not in business. Okay? That's what we do. We do that every day, and you see that every day. I told you in the first class, every single class is a presentation from us. So you watch presentation every single day, even though you panic, I have to give presentation in front of the class. Every single day you are watching, you are experiencing 6 or 7 presentations, at least 4 or 5 presentations every single day, even though you panic about presentation. Very alarming. Okay. Demonstration. Okay, we see chairs are there, even though this gesture brings some significance. Why? You can see where to sit. You know chair is there for a standing purpose, for sitting purpose. If you are the guest, if you are the speaker, if you are the presenter, then you are supposed to sit there. So why she is showing tumpa that you should sit here? Is it at all necessary? Let's see who can answer. Not the right word, formality. There are better words. Manner actually doesn't go with this. It has some good words. Courtesy. This is courtesy. And courtesy begets courtesy. Say for example, when you are flying on the plane, You know your ticket number is written there, you know the seat number is there, and you can find your seat by yourself, even though the cabin crew will guide you, will help you and take you, okay ma'am, this is your seat, let me help you to guide you towards your seat. Don't they know that you are educated enough? Don't they know that you can find it by yourself? But even though, if they know, even if they recognize that, okay sir, you are a regular traveler, they will do the same courtesy for me every time. That's courtesy. That's a part of their job, to show utmost courtesy to the passengers. You get my point? Because that reduces at least a teeny percentage of hassles. Say for example, even at a highway bus, when you are say for example traveling from Dhaka to Dinajpur, and you are riding on a highway bus, and the AC bus service, the staff on the bus, if he just looks at your seat number, he will directly take your exact seat number. But when you will search it by yourself, you will say this way, then this, then again this way, then again this way. It will take at least few minutes for you, and you have to stress something to find out your original seat. But they didn't know. So that's how it helps you, and that's how it makes it brings more confidence, more reliability, more satisfaction to you as a passenger on the service. What is the discussion part in presentation? Where is that scope? Do we have any scope to discuss during presentation?
Question and answer part.
Is that actually discussion? That's a question answer. To? No, where is that scope of discussing during presentation? You get the scope of discussing when teacher leaves. But when teacher is here, where is the scope of discussion? No. Even I know that is no. So, how? Suddenly I remembered a story. One day in your class, a girl, she told me during class time, she told directly to me, usually I don't like sitting behind because I always sit on the first chair. I'm the first chair women. Chairman, no, but first chair women. First lady. She is the first lady of 15th batch. And she was supposed to be the first lady of art of presentation. But I don't see her on the first chair. Not there, not here. Where is she? Where is she? Okay. So, even in today's class, we had a discussion. Two boys were discussing among themselves. And I allowed that discussion. Can you see? Do you recognize those two? They were trying to convince one another by answering. So that was a part of the presentation, and that can be in any kind of presentation. That can be that can easily accommodate in your storytelling presentation as well. When you are allowing the audience to answer, when you are allowing the audience to share their own reflection, their own understanding. So those can be. What do you mean by combination and your text here? That's what we usually do in our slides, because in our slides usually you don't see only slides, only headings. Usually there are lots of writings, lots of sentences are there. By the way, every standard presentation has a smart rule, and the smart rule is there should not be many more sentences. There should not be 10 to 12 sentences. Even there should not be more than 7 to 8 sentences. Even the size of the sentences, the type of the sentences, the ratio, there should be 60-40 ratio. And the write-up, that should not cover more than 40% of your total presentation slide, the area of the slide. So that combination is always okay, no problem with that. So you can have a combination of only pictures, you can have only combination of only text, you can have audio visual combination, video combination, everything can be there, no problem with that. So here comes the main point, how to select your topic. And you tell me how to select your topic. The answer is already here. Already we discussed the last few slides with this. How to select your topic.
An interesting topic.
How to find an interesting topic.
যে টপিকটা আমি জানি, যেটার ব্যাপারে আমার ধারণা আছে, যেটা বলে আমি অডিয়েন্সদেরকে আমার সাথে কানেক্ট করতে পারবো।
Good. Better. Not best. Not yet. Long way to go.
Focusing the audience.
You heard this proverb or quote, a famous quote. I have promises to keep. What's the next sentence? What is the next line? What kind of promise? Which promise? Whose promise? Promise to whom? That's the promise. The problem is not the promise that you understand, the real promise that everyone should or supposed to understand. This is how the circuit of your brains have damaged. So the perception should be for every single day, before every single night, before every single sleep, how many miles you traveled, how many miles you furthered, how many miles, and it is not just about the journey, it's not just about the distance. It's about the development, it's about the skill development, it's about the contributions, it's about your footprint towards the earth, it's about your contribution towards the people, to the planet, to the society. How much you have done for others before you are going forever. Before you are leaving the earth, how much you have left for the earth. Before you are destroyed underground, what you have left for the ground people. So, how to select your topic? That's always a very challenging task, and it is enough to create headache. But firstly, topics you know, topics you care about, and topics your audience care about. Not only the topics you want to tell, topics you love, also the topic that audience would love, that audience would appreciate. Audience will fancy listening to such stories. Audience will love such stories. And I have good idea, I have good knowledge about that. I have good experience, I had my real life experience with that. So I have the knowledge, I have the real life experience, and audience would fancy about this topic. That's it. and the first criteria, the first driver should be that purpose of your presentation. If the purpose is just to tell a story, then it's nothing. Then the topic can be anything, or there is no selection or no selection criteria, or nothing to pay attention, or not that much a very difficult task to find a topic of his story. It can be anything. But when the purpose is to give a message, of course a positive message for the audience, then it has to be a smart topic. It has to be a good story. Audience assessment, because you know your audience better, who are they, what they want, what they like. So those are the things. Personal strength, SWOT analysis. I will not discuss these slides in detail here, because we have another we will do some exercise about SWOT analysis in your class. Are you aware about SWOT analysis? You did? You did SWOT analysis? Okay. Any one of you who did your own SWOT analysis till date? Yeah, your own SWOT analysis. Anyone did your own SWOT analysis? Huh? What is actually your CV all about? What is your resume all about? Even when you are preparing a biodata for giving to your marriage advocate, okay, find out a good boy for me, this is my biodata. What is actually there? Your SWOT analysis. Only the good part, not the bad part. Because after marriage he will discover what the reality is. He thought it's a queen, but later he found out it's a dining. So, lot of more discussion is coming on this later. SWOT analysis later. Bag of tricks. What is it? Presentation topic selection, how it is related with this. And you can simply say that this is something, a Christmas celebration is going on. Mil gaya. So, now, so probably Daisy should answer this. What are the bag of tricks? Daisy. Tell us, what is these tricks? মাঝে মাঝে না ছোট বাচ্চাদের ক্ষেত্রেই বেশি হয়, শুধু জ্বালায়। তো জ্বালায় যখন মা জিজ্ঞেস করে, আরে কি চাস বলস না কেন, ঠিক মতো বল, কি লাগবে, কি খাবি, না চকলেট খাবি, না এটা খাবি, না ওটা খাবি, না ওখানে যাবি, না এটা করবি, না সবই না, তো জ্বালাস কেন, তাহলে করস। তোমাদের অবস্থাও কেন জানি এমন, তোমরা অনেক কিছু চাও, অনেক কিছুই চাও, কিন্তু স্যার যখন জিজ্ঞেস করে আসলে কি চাও, তখনই আর বলতে পারো না। ফ্রম ডেইসি, ও তো দে দিয়া ऑन सैटरडे। आप भूल गए, आप भूल गए क्योंकि मेरे आकिका हो गए और आपका आकिका अभी नहीं हुई, सो पार्टी अभी बाकी है। ओके, सो आज के এই পর্যন্তই। एनी क्वेश्चंस?